Dr. Sarah Chen stared at her computer screen, her eyes wide with disbelief. The signal was unlike anything she had ever seen before. It pulsed with a strange rhythm, carrying data that defied Earth's most advanced encryption algorithms. "Professor Harris," she called out, her voice trembling. "You need to see this." The old professor shuffled over, his curiosity piqued by the urgency in Sarah's voice. As he leaned in to look at the screen, his bushy eyebrows shot up. "Good Lord," he whispered, "it can't be." But it was. After centuries of searching the stars, humanity had finally received its first confirmed signal from an alien civilization. And not just any civilization, a vast, sprawling empire that spanned the galaxy. Within hours, the news spread like wildfire. Government officials scrambled to respond, news anchors struggled to maintain their composure, and social media exploded with theories and reactions. The world was in chaos, teetering between excitement and fear. In Washington, D.C., President Lisa Martinez sat in the Oval Office, surrounded by her top advisors. Her face was grim as she listened to the latest reports. "Madam President," General Thompson said, his voice gruff, "our best analysts have decoded part of the message. It's not good." Martinez leaned forward. "Out with it, General. What does it say?" The general cleared his throat. "They're calling themselves the Galactic Empire. And they're not here to make friends. They're demanding our immediate surrender and integration into their empire." A heavy silence fell over the room. The Secretary of State, a usually calm man, looked pale. "They can't be serious," he muttered. "We've only just discovered their existence." But the empire was deadly serious. As the world's leaders debated their response, strange ships appeared in the sky. They were massive, sleek vessels that defied Earth's laws of physics. They hovered over major cities, their presence a clear show of force. In New York, Tokyo, London, and other metropolises, people poured into the streets. Some gazed up in wonder, while others ran in panic. The police struggled to maintain order as the reality of the situation sank in. Back in her lab, Dr. Chen worked tirelessly to understand the alien technology. She and her team had been analyzing the signals nonstop, trying to glean any information that could help Earth. "It's incredible," she murmured, her eyes bloodshot from lack of sleep. "Their tech is centuries ahead of ours. But there's something odd about it." Professor Harris looked up from his own work. "Odd how?" Sarah bit her lip, trying to put her thoughts into words. "It's advanced, yes, but it's inefficient. Like they've had this tech for so long, they've stopped innovating. They're stagnant." As they pondered this, a new message came through. The Empire was growing impatient. They demanded an audience with Earth's leaders, threatening dire consequences for non-compliance. In a historic moment, the United Nations convened an emergency session. Representatives from every nation gathered, setting aside old rivalries in the face of this unprecedented threat. President Martinez stood at the podium, her voice steady as she addressed not just her fellow leaders, but the entire world watching. "We stand at a crossroads," she began. "An alien empire threatens our very existence, demanding our submission. They believe us to be primitive, easy to conquer, but they don't know humanity." She paused, her eyes blazing with determination. "We have faced countless challenges throughout our history. We have overcome plagues, wars, and disasters. We have reached the moon and peered into the depths of our oceans. We are explorers, innovators, and survivors." The chamber was silent, hanging on her every word. "I say we show this galactic empire exactly what humanity is capable of. We will not bow. We will not surrender. We will stand united against this threat, and we will prevail." Her words ignited a fire in the hearts of billions. As the Empire's ships loomed overhead, humanity began to prepare. Scientists worked around the clock, adapting alien data to enhance Earth's defenses. Military leaders from former enemy nations shared strategies, forming a united front. The stage was set. Humanity, the underdog, was about to face its greatest challenge, and unknown to the Galactic Empire, they had awakened a sleeping giant. Earth was ready to fight, and the galaxy would never be the same. The world held its breath as the Galactic Empire's ultimatum ticked down. In secret bunkers and hidden labs across the globe, humanity's brightest minds raced against time. Dr. Sarah Chen hadn't slept in days. Her lab in Beijing was a mess of wires, screens, and strange alien tech. She rubbed her tired eyes and took another sip of cold coffee. "I think we've got something," she said to her team. "Look at this." On the main screen, a simulation played out. It showed an Imperial ship, its shields flickering and failing under an unseen attack. "What are we looking at, Dr. Chen?" asked her colleague, Dr. Patel. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "A weakness. Their shields operate on a frequency we can disrupt. It's not much, but it's a start." As scientists made breakthroughs, the world's militaries prepared for the fight of their lives. In a secret base in the Sahara, soldiers from 100 nations trained together. Captain John Rodriguez of the U.S. Army watched as a Russian surgeon demonstrated a new combat technique. "Again," he said, his voice thick with an accent. "Like this." The diverse group of soldiers moved in unison, their actions fluid and deadly. John nodded approvingly. "We're getting there," he thought. But will it be enough? Above them, the sky was filled with alien ships. They hung there, day and night, a constant reminder of the threat Earth faced. But instead of cowering, humanity got angry. In New York, a group of street artists painted a massive mural on the side of a skyscraper. It showed a human fist punching through an alien ship. The caption read, "Earth fights back." Similar acts of defiance popped up all over the world. In Tokyo, hackers launched cyberattacks against the Empire's communication systems. In Rio, engineers built makeshift EMP devices to disable alien tech. The Empire, however, was losing patience. Their supreme leader, Emperor Zox, appeared on every screen on Earth. His alien features were twisted in a sneer. "Humans," he growled, his words translated into every language. "Your defiance is pointless. Submit now or face annihilation." In Washington, D.C., President Martinez met with her advisors. The mood was tense, but determined. "What's our status?" she asked, her voice steady. General Thompson stepped forward. "Madam President, we're as ready as we'll ever be. Dr. Chen's team has given us a way to fight their ships. Our united forces are prepared for combat." The President nodded, then turned to her Secretary of State. "And diplomacy?" He shook his head. "The Empire refuses to negotiate. They demand total surrender." Martinez stood up, her decision made. "Then we give them our answer. Prepare the broadcast." An hour later, President Martinez addressed not just Earth, but the entire Galactic Empire. Her face was beamed to every screen on the planet and transmitted into space. "People of Earth and members of the so-called Galactic Empire," she began, "we have heard your demands. We have seen your ships. You thought to intimidate us into submission." She paused, her eyes flashing with determination. "But you have made a grave mistake. You have underestimated the human spirit. We will not bow. We will not surrender. Instead, we make our own demand." The world held its breath as Martinez delivered her historic words. "Galactic Empire, you are hereby banned from Earth and its solar system. Any attempt to enter our space will be met with all the force we can muster. We reject your authority and claim our rightful place among the stars as a free and independent world." As she spoke, Earth's hidden defenses sprang to life. Force fields shimmered into existence around major cities. Newly built fighter ships took to the skies, challenging the Imperial vessels. In orbit, Earth's hastily assembled space fleet faced off against the Empire's armada. Admiral Yuki Tanaka of the United Earth Space Force stood on the bridge of her flagship. She watched as the Empire's ships moved into attack formation. "All ships, battle stations," she ordered, her voice calm despite the odds. "Let's show these bullies what humans can do." As the first shots were fired, the battle for Earth began. The Empire had numbers and advanced technology, but humanity had something they didn't expect: the sheer, stubborn will to survive and thrive. The galaxy watched in awe as the small blue planet stood up to the mighty Empire. Against all odds, Earth was fighting back, and they were winning. The battle for Earth's skies raged for 3 days. Humanity's fighters, though outnumbered, fought with a fierce determination that shocked the Imperial forces. Dr. Chen's shield-disrupting technology proved invaluable, allowing Earth's weapons to penetrate the once impervious alien defenses. As the dust settled, both sides had suffered losses, but Earth still stood, unbroken and defiant. The Empire's ships retreated to the edge of the solar system, regrouping and reassessing their strategy. In the aftermath, an uneasy calm fell over the planet. People emerged from shelters, gazing at the sky with a mix of fear and pride. The burned-out husks of alien ships dotted major cities, a grim reminder of the cost of freedom. President Martinez stood in the ruins of what was once the United Nations building in New York. Flanked by world leaders, she addressed a gathering of journalists from across the globe. "We have won the first battle," she said, her voice echoing through the damaged hall. "But the war is far from over. We must prepare for what comes next." As if on cue, a new transmission came through from the Empire. Emperor Zox's face appeared on screens worldwide, his alien features twisted in a mix of rage and grudging respect. "Humans," he growled, "you have surprised us. Perhaps we were hasty in our judgment. We propose a meeting. To talk." The world erupted in debate. Some saw it as a trick, others as a chance for peace. In the end, the decision was made. Earth would talk, but on its own terms. A neutral location was chosen: the International Space Station, now heavily modified and defended. As the Imperial shuttle approached, tension ran high among the Earth delegation. Dr. Sarah Chen fidgeted with her tablet, reviewing data one last time. Beside her, General Thompson stood rigid, his hand never far from his weapon. President Martinez sat calmly at the head of the table, her eyes fixed on the airlock. With a hiss of equalizing pressure, the door opened. Emperor Zox ducked through, his massive frame barely fitting in the human-sized station. Behind him came a retinue of alien advisors and guards, each looking as uncomfortable as their leader. "Welcome to Earth space," President Martinez said, her voice cool and controlled. "We have much to discuss." The negotiations were tense from the start. Emperor Zox, unused to being challenged, struggled to hide his frustration. "You must understand," he rumbled, "no world has ever resisted us like this. It is unprecedented." "Perhaps," Martinez replied, "it's time for a change in how you view the galaxy." As the talks progressed, it became clear that the Empire's view of Earth had shifted. What they had seen as a primitive world now appeared as a potential threat, or ally. Dr. Chen presented data showing the inefficiencies in Imperial technology, offering improvements in exchange for recognition of Earth's sovereignty. General Thompson detailed Earth's military capabilities, making it clear that any future aggression would be met with fierce resistance. But it was a young diplomat named Quaimosei who made the most impact. Speaking directly to Emperor Zox, he painted a picture of a galaxy where cooperation trumped conquest. "Imagine," he said, his voice passionate, "a universe where worlds join your empire willingly, attracted by mutual benefits rather than cowed by fear. Earth could be the first step towards this new order." As the hours stretched into days, the mood in the station slowly shifted. The aliens, initially dismissive, began to show interest in human ideas and culture. Informal exchanges happened during breaks, with humans and aliens cautiously sharing stories and information. Emperor Zox, for his part, seemed to be grappling with new concepts. "Your world is chaotic," he said to Martinez during a private moment. "So many languages, cultures, ideas. How do you manage it? Martinez smiled. That chaos, Your Majesty, is our strength. It drives us to innovate, to question, to strive for better. It's why we fought so hard against you. As the talks neared their end, a framework began to emerge. The Empire would recognize Earth's independence and right to self-governance. In return, Earth would share some of its unique innovations and act as a bridge between the Empire and other newly discovered worlds. But one sticking point remained: Earth's ban on Imperial presence in the solar system. Emperor Zox argued against it, citing the need for an Imperial embassy at the very least. The Earth delegation stood firm. Our ban stays, Martins declared. You've seen what we can do. Respect our space, and we'll respect yours. As the final day of negotiations dawned, the galaxy waited with bated breath. The outcome of this meeting would shape the future of not just Earth, but countless worlds across the stars. The stage was set for a new chapter in galactic history. The final day of negotiations dawned on the International Space Station. The air was thick with tension as both human and alien delegates prepared for what could be the most important diplomatic session in galactic history. President Martinez sat at the head of the table, her face a mask of calm determination. Across from her, Emperor Zox loomed, his alien features unreadable. The fate of Earth hung in the balance. We've discussed much over these past days, Martinez began, her voice steady. But now we must reach a decision. The people of Earth await our verdict. Emperor Zox nodded slowly. Indeed, your world has proven. Interesting, but surely you see the benefits of joining our empire. The protection, the technology, the power we offer. Martinez leaned forward, her eyes locked with the alien leaders. And what of our freedom? Our right to choose our own path. These are not bargaining chips, Your Majesty. They are the very essence of who we are. As the two leaders debated, Dr. Sarah Chen worked furiously on her tablet. She had been analyzing Imperial data throughout the negotiations, and something had caught her attention. She passed a note to General Thompson, who read it with widening eyes. Madam President, the General interrupted, his voice urgent. We have new information that could change everything. All eyes turned to Dr. Chen as she stood up, her hands shaking slightly as she activated a holographic display. We've discovered something in the Empire's historical data, she explained. There's a pattern of worlds that resisted initial conquest. Those that held out, like we did, ended up becoming the most valuable and influential members of the Empire. The room erupted in murmurs. Emperor Zox shifted uncomfortably in his seat. This is not relevant to our current. It's entirely relevant. Martinez cut in, a new fire in her eyes. It proves that Earth's strength lies in our independence. We don't need to join your empire to thrive. In fact, it seems we're more valuable to you as free allies. The Emperor's advisors huddled together, whispering frantically. Zox himself seemed at a loss for words, a first since the negotiations began. Seizing the moment, Quaimosai, the young diplomat, stepped forward. Your Majesty, esteemed delegates, he said, his voice resonating with passion. We stand at a crossroads, not just for Earth, but for the entire galaxy. We have an opportunity here to redefine what it means to be a galactic civilization. He gestured to the viewport, where Earth hung like a blue jewel against the blackness of space. Earth has always been a planet of diversity, of countless cultures and ideas coexisting and evolving together. We propose to bring this model to the stars. The room was silent, all attention focused on Quaim's words. Instead of an empire built on conquest, imagine a galactic community. Worlds working together, sharing knowledge and resources, while maintaining their unique identities and freedoms. Emperor Zox leaned back, his alien eyes narrowing in thought. An intriguing concept. But how would such a system function? Who would lead? Martinez stepped in, building on Quaim's idea. We propose a galactic council with representatives from all worlds. Earth would be willing to host this council as a neutral party, We would maintain our ban on Imperial presence, but open our doors to diplomatic missions from all worlds. The next few hours were a whirlwind of debate and discussion. Imperial advisors argued fiercely among themselves, while the Earth delegation stood united. As the station completed another orbit around the planet, a consensus began to emerge. Finally, Emperor Zox raised a hand for silence. "We have ruled the galaxy unopposed for millennia," he said, his voice carrying a note of weariness. Perhaps it is time for a change." The Emperor turned to Martinez, drawing himself up to his full, impressive height. "Earth has proven itself worthy not just of survival, but of respect. We accept your proposal, with conditions. The Empire will transition to this Galactic Council, but we expect Earth to take a leading role in its formation and governance." Martinez nodded solemnly. "We accept this responsibility, Your Majesty." As the final documents were drawn up, a palpable sense of history in the making filled the station. Earth had not only survived its first contact with a galactic power, but had managed to reshape the very nature of that power. The ultimate decision had been made. Earth would remain free, its ban on Imperial presence respected. But more than that, it would become the centerpiece of a new galactic order. As the news spread across the planet and beyond, a new era of hope and possibility dawned for all sentient beings in the galaxy. The news of Earth's defiance and the subsequent reshaping of galactic politics spread across the cosmos at the speed of light. On countless worlds, beings of all shapes and sizes gathered around communication devices, their alien features contorted in disbelief and wonder. On Zygon Prime, a world of silicon-based life forms, crystalline beings vibrated with excitement. Their leader, Grand Resonator Xylith, addressed the planet. "The tiny water world has done the impossible. They have changed the Empire. We must learn more about these humans." In the methane seas of Neptulon, the aquatic Grexians clicked and whistled in their underwater cities. Schools of younglings swam in patterns mimicking the shape of Earth, a planet they had never seen but now filled their dreams. Even on distant Alpha Centauri b, where the avian Quetzar race had long lived under Imperial rule, winds of change were blowing. Massive flocks took to the skies, their colorful plumage forming the words freedom and Earth when viewed from space. Back on Earth, the implications of their newfound galactic importance were just beginning to sink in. In New Delhi, holographic billboards flickered with images of alien worlds, advertising galactic cultural exchange programs. Streets buzzed with excitement as people from all walks of life imagined the possibilities of a connected cosmos. Dr. Sarah Chen found herself thrust into the spotlight. Her groundbreaking work on Imperial technology had made her a global celebrity overnight. As she stepped onto the stage for a TED talk, the audience erupted in applause. "Thank you," she said, her voice amplified to the millions watching worldwide. "A month ago, I was just a scientist doing my job. Now, we're all citizens of a much larger universe. The challenges ahead are enormous, but so are the opportunities." Meanwhile, in the newly established Galactic Council chambers in Geneva, representatives from Earth and former Imperial worlds gathered for their first official session. The room was a marvel of human and alien engineering, designed to accommodate beings of all physiologies. President Martinez, now serving as Earth's primary representative, called the session to order. "Distinguished delegates," she began, her voice translated into a dozen alien languages simultaneously. "We gather here not as conquerors or the conquered, but as equals. Our task is to build a galactic community that respects the rights and uniqueness of all sentient beings." As she spoke, on the fringes of Earth's solar system, a tense standoff was taking place. A group of Imperial hardliners, unwilling to accept the new galactic order, had brought a battle fleet to challenge Earth's ban. Admiral Yuki Tanaka stood on the bridge of the EDS Horizon, Earth's most advanced spaceship. Before her, the screen showed the Imperial renegade fleet, their weapons powered up and ready. "This is Admiral Tanaka of Earth Defense Forces," she broadcast. You are in violation of the Galactic Accord. Stand down and retreat beyond the solar system boundary. The response came swiftly, a harsh alien voice filled with disdain. We do not recognize your authority, Earth vermin. Prepare to be destroyed. As the renegade ships moved to attack, Tanaka allowed herself a small smile. All ships, execute Operation Slingshot. In a breathtaking display of coordination, Earth's defense fleet sprang into action. Ships moved in intricate patterns, using the gravity of planets and moons to slingshot themselves at incredible speeds. The maneuvers, impossible for the larger Imperial ships to match, allowed Earth's forces to outflank and neutralize the threat with minimal bloodshed. The battle was over in minutes. As the disabled Imperial ships floated powerless in space, Tanaka opened a channel to Geneva. Madam President, the threat has been neutralized. Earth's ban remains in effect. The news of Earth's decisive victory spread quickly. On world after world, faith in the old empire crumbled. The age of Earth had begun. In a small classroom in Nairobi, a young girl raised her hand. "Teacher," she asked, her eyes wide with wonder, "can I be a space diplomat when I grow up?" The teacher smiled, looking out the window at the star-filled sky. "Of course you can, Amani. The galaxy is waiting for us all." As night fell across the planet, billions of humans looked up at the stars with new eyes. The universe had never seemed so vast, so full of possibility. Earth had taken its first steps into a larger world, and there was no turning back. The ban on the Galactic Empire had not just changed Earth's fate, but the destiny of countless worlds across the cosmos. A new age of exploration, diplomacy, and cooperation was dawning, with humanity leading the way. 6 months had passed since Earth's historic stand against the Galactic Empire. The planet buzzed with activity as humans adapted to their new role in the cosmic community. But in the shadows of distant stars, trouble was brewing. On the former imperial capital world of Xerex, a group of hardline loyalists gathered in secret. Led by Grand Admiral Vexthor, they plotted to restore the Empire to its former glory. "Earth's defiance cannot stand," Vexthor growled, his tentacles writhing with anger. "We will show them the true might of the Empire." Unbeknownst to the plotters, a small drone buzzed silently in the corner of the room. On Earth, in a high-tech monitoring station, Agent Maria Lopes of the newly formed Galactic Intelligence Agency watched the proceedings with growing concern. "We've got movement," she reported to her superiors. "Looks like the Empire isn't as dead as we thought." As Earth prepared for the looming threat, life went on. In a bustling spaceport in Singapore, Dr. Sarah Chen supervised the loading of a ship bound for Alpha Centauri. The vessel was filled with teachers, scientists, and diplomats. Earth's first official mission to another star system. "Remember," she told the excited crew, "you're not just explorers. You're ambassadors for all of humanity." As the ship lifted off, a cheer went up from the watching crowd. But their celebration was short-lived. Alarms blared across the planet as sensors detected a massive fleet entering the solar system. Grand Admiral Vexthor had made his move. In the Oval Office, President Martinez received the news with grim determination. "They're testing our resolve," she said to her advisors. "Let's show them it hasn't wavered." Earth's defense forces sprang into action. Admiral Tanaka's voice crackled over the comms. "All ships, battle stations. Remember your training. We've beaten them before. We'll do it again." The battle that followed was unlike anything Earth had seen before. Imperial ships, now equipped with reversed-engineered human technology, clashed with Earth's fleet in a dazzling display of advanced warfare. Lasers lit up the sky, visible even from the planet's surface. In cities around the world, people huddled in shelters, watching the battle unfold on holographic displays. Despite the Empire's new tricks, Earth's forces held their ground. The diversity of human tactics, combined with technology from friendly alien races, proved too much for the rigid Imperial strategy. As the battle raged, a small team of human and alien special forces, led by the now Colonel John Rodriguez, sneaked aboard Vexthor's flagship. Their mission: to end this war before it could truly begin. Remember, John told his diverse team as they moved through the alien corridors, "We're not here for revenge. We're here to secure peace." In a tense confrontation on the ship's bridge, John faced down Grand Admiral Vexthor. The alien leader sneered at the human. "You think you can challenge the might of the Empire? We have ruled the stars for millennia." John stood his ground, his voice steady. "And now it's time for a change. Your empire is gone, Admiral, but you can still be part of something greater." As they talked, Earth's fleet executed a brilliant maneuver. Using technology developed by Dr. Chen, they created a localized wormhole, trapping a third of the Imperial fleet in a closed loop of spacetime. Seeing his forces outmaneuvered and his flagship infiltrated, Vexthor's resolve began to crumble. What are you offering?" he asked, his voice losing its earlier bravado. John smiled. "A chance to build something new. A galaxy where all species work together, where innovation and cooperation trump conquest." As the fighting died down, news of the Empire's defeat spread across the stars. On world after world, celebrations erupted. The last holdouts of the old order had been defeated not just by Earth's military might, but by the power of its ideas. In the aftermath, President Martinez addressed the galaxy. "Today, we have again proven that freedom and cooperation are stronger than tyranny and fear. To those who still cling to the old ways, we say, join us. There's a place for everyone in this new galactic community." As the Earth continued its ban on Imperial presence, it opened its arms to individuals from all worlds who sought a new beginning. The planet became a beacon of hope and opportunity, a shining example of what could be achieved when diverse cultures came together in peace. The Empire's last attempt at retaliation had failed, but it had also opened the door to a new era of galactic cooperation. As humans and aliens worked side by side to rebuild and reconcile, the stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter. Earth's journey from an isolated world to a leader of a galactic community was far from over, but with each passing day, the future looked brighter than ever before. 5 years had passed since Earth's decisive victory over the last Imperial forces. The galaxy had changed in ways once thought impossible. Earth, once a small blue dot on the edge of an unremarkable spiral arm, now stood at the center of a new galactic order. On a crisp autumn morning in Geneva, the Galactic Council convened for its annual session. The massive chamber hummed with activity as representatives from thousands of worlds took their seats. Some floated in anti-gravity bubbles, others sat on traditional chairs, while a few existed as pure energy forms. At the center of it all stood President Amani Okoro, Earth's young and charismatic leader. Once a starry-eyed schoolgirl in Nairobi, she now addressed the assembled delegates with confidence and vision. "Friends, allies, fellow sentients," she began, her words translated into myriad languages. 5 years ago, we embarked on an unprecedented journey. Today, we celebrate not just our survival, but our thriving. As she spoke, holographic displays showed scenes from across the galaxy. On the silicon plains of Zygon Prime, human scientists worked alongside crystalline beings, developing new technologies that merged organic and inorganic life. In the methane seas of Neptulin, Grexian and human children played together in special underwater habitats, learning each other's languages and cultures. "Our strength lies not in conquest or domination," Amani continued, "but in our diversity, our creativity, and our unwavering commitment to freedom and cooperation." In orbit above Earth, the newly christened Galactic University welcomed its first class of students from 100 different species. Dr. Sarah Chen, now the Dean of Sciences, watched with pride as her human and alien pupils engaged in lively debates about the nature of the universe. "Remember," she told a group of wide-eyed freshmen, "the most important discoveries often come from combining different perspectives. Your differences are your greatest assets." Meanwhile, on the fringes of known space, a joint human-alien expedition made first contact with a newly discovered civilization. Captain Maria Lopez, once an intelligence agent, now led the diplomatic mission. As her ship approached the alien world, she thought back to Earth's own first contact experience. "We come in peace," she broadcast. "As friends and fellow explorers, we bring greetings from the Galactic Council and an invitation to join our community of worlds." Back in Geneva, President Okoro addressed the Council's greatest challenge yet. "We have prospered, but we must not forget those still suffering. The former imperial worlds, long exploited, need our help to rebuild and find their own paths." A murmur ran through the chamber. It was a contentious issue. Some argued that these worlds should be left to fend for themselves. Others feared the risk of rekindling old conflicts. Amani held up her hand for silence. "We banned the Empire from Earth because we valued our freedom and self-determination. Should we not ensure the same rights for others? I propose a galactic reconstruction initiative to heal the wounds of the past and build a better future for all." The debate that followed was intense but respectful. Delegates from former imperial worlds and former resistance planets alike shared their perspectives. In the end, the motion passed with an overwhelming majority. As the session concluded, Amani found herself on a balcony overlooking the city. Beside her stood Zexalia, the former emperor's daughter and now the representative of the reformed imperial worlds. "Your people continue to surprise us," Zexalia said, her alien features softened by a smile. "We thought we were coming to conquer you. Instead, you've conquered the stars with kindness." Amani laughed. "Not conquered, my friend. We're all explorers in this vast universe. There's so much more to discover together." As night fell, cities across Earth lit up in celebration of Galactic Unity Day. In homes, schools, and public squares, humans gathered to share meals with their alien neighbors and friends. Children played with holographic models of distant worlds, dreaming of the adventures that awaited them among the stars. In a small park in Nairobi, a statue had been erected. It showed a young girl looking up at the stars, her hand raised in a gesture of greeting. The plaque read, "To the dreamers of yesterday, the explorers of today, and the united galaxy of tomorrow." As the twin moons of an alien world rose over the horizon, visible from Earth for the first time thanks to new atmospheric manipulation technology, humanity collectively held its breath in awe. The ban on the Galactic Empire had not just protected Earth, it had opened the door to a grander, more inclusive vision of galactic civilization. The story of humanity among the stars was just beginning, and the future shone brighter than any sun in the cosmos.